Anomaly number SCP-5129. Anomaly class safe. Threat level green. Special containment procedures pending. Due to its relative proximity to Site-77, research duties have been delegated to its resident containment specialist team. Description: SCP-5129 is an extra-dimensional space accessible through a way. Note: a way is a thaumaturgical portal used to move between universes, typically taking the form of a door, often requiring a ritual known as a knock to activate. Uniquely, SCP-5129's way takes the form of a tree stump and requires no knock to enter. Near Muth, begunne von Jacob der Ross. A snowstorm covers the landscape, making manned expeditions presently infeasible. Animal life and potential humanoid civilization, see addendum, have been recorded via drone analysis. Addendum: on February 14th, 2021, Site-77 Command authorized the usage of an experimental drone to explore SCP-5129. Though the drone was destroyed by the conditions within, see video transcript below. Information about the anomaly was collected and relayed back to Site-77 successfully. Date: February 14th, 2021. Note: not applicable. Begin log. 11:37 a.m. The camera feed stutters, then activates. The drone begins to fly forward, but its progress is slowed by heavy wind and snow. The audio feed briefly calibrates, then activates. Loud whooshing can be heard before Site Command lowers the volume remotely. The drone flies southeast. Nothing of note is recorded. 12:03 p.m. Two yellow lights are seen in the distance. To the left of the drone's primary camera, the drone is redirected and begins moving west. 12:10 p.m. A loud noise similar to a gunshot is heard on the drone's right. Site Command stops the drone. More shots are heard, slightly further away. The drone is redirected to follow the sounds. As it moves, a high-pitched yell and a guttural sound similar to a wolf is recorded. 12:19 p.m. The drone bottom camera picks up on three carcasses on the ground, resembling Canis lupus, grey wolves, but around twice as large. Each have bullet wounds across their bodies. Nearby, various meat and a basket are strewn across the ground. A torn piece of velvet fabric sticks out from the snow beside it. Several shotgun shells are found on the ground as well. Investigation leads the drone to detecting two sets of humanoid footprints. One is smaller than the other, and both are close together. It is redirected to follow the prints. 1:12 p.m. The second set of footprints gradually becomes more slurred, then disappears. An imprint in the snow in the shape of a hand. Note: the area around the handprint is tinged red, possibly due to blood. Is found with an unlit kerosene lantern. Note: the make and model of the lantern resembles lanterns built throughout the early 19th century. Beside it, one set of footprint remains and continues east. 1:16 p.m. The footprints gradually become more slurred. The second set of footprints reappears and they are closer together. A second unlit kerosene lantern is discovered nearby. 1:22 p.m. The drone continues to follow the imprint in the snow towards several dilapidated buildings resembling 19th century chattels and what appears to be a fallen fortress. The imprint continues northeast. The drone is redirected accordingly. Site Command remotely raises the volume of the audio feed. Briefly, a voice can be heard in the distance. The drone is readjusted to follow the voice. 2:03 p.m. A single, unmoving yellow light is seen in the distance. It appears larger than the previous two, suggesting it is not a lantern. 2:22 p.m. Two entities are seen in the distance. The drone's front camera zooms on them. They appear humanoid, both having pale skin and larger pointed ears. One is approximately 134 centimeters, and with brown-black hair and wearing a torn velvet cloak. Henceforth, SCP-5129-A. It appears injured and is leaning against the second entity, who is approximately 173 centimeters, wearing a brown coat and has silver hair. Henceforth, SCP-5129-B. In the distance is a cabin with lights visible inside. 2:25 p.m. SCP-5129-B leads SCP-5129-A to the cabin and gently leans it towards its own chest before pushing open the door. The drone closes in to see inside as both entities enter the cabin, closing the door behind itself without seeing the drone. The drone moves to the nearby window to continue monitoring the entities. 2:35 p.m. The inside of the cabin is mostly barren. A bed sits directly to the left of the window, and a table with 4 chairs is directly in the middle of the cabin. On the farthest wall from the drone, there are several cupboards with candles on them and what appears to be a cauldron. SCP-5129-B lowers SCP-5129-A onto the bed and removes its cloak. Though vision is minimal, it appears SCP-5129-A is covered in bite marks and scratches. SCP-5129-B removes scars from its coat pocket and begins to apply it to SCP-5129-A. Audio is muffled due to the winds, but the entities are heard conversing in an unknown language, phonetically resembling various romantic languages. 2:39 p.m. SCP-5129-B wraps SCP-5129-A in several blankets. They converse before SCP-5129-B turns away, walking over to the cupboards and going through them. SCP-5129-B produces various vegetables and meats and begins preparing a broth. The entities converse intermittently throughout this time period. 2:45 p.m. SCP-5129-B finishes the broth and brings it to SCP-5129-A, sitting on the bed beside it. SCP-5129-B offers some broth on a spoon, which SCP-5129-A appears to reject. The two entities converse before SCP-5129-A pouts and nods. SCP-5129-B laughs and begins feeding SCP-5129-A the broth. SCP-5129-A sighs and laughs. 2:59 p.m. SCP-5129-A finishes the broth, and SCP-5129-B stands, depositing the bowl into the cauldron. SCP-5129-B returns to SCP-5129-A and lays beside it. The entities converse quietly. 3:05 p.m. SCP-5129-B sits up and places its hand on the side of SCP-5129-A's face. It leans down, and the two entities kiss. SCP-5129-B smiles upon pulling away, and stands moving to blow out the candles. At this point, the inside of the cabin is no longer visible. The drone is recalled by Site Command, but due to harsh winds, it is blown off course and onto the ground. 3:57 p.m. The drone is almost completely covered in snow. Site Command deactivates its camera feed, then its audio feed. The drone is shut down shortly after. End log.